It's needed.
Okay. So what's the question though?
I don't know.
There's
She
a
said
big
there's a big
problem with
problem.
his big problem. Yeah. You remember in our
I have my code written and it works. I don't know, I can show it, and I didn't really use like percentages, like E%2.
hold on.
I just use loops.
Can you go back to your screen?
Yeah.
Can you go back to your screen? Okay, you remember I said we in this lab assignment we need 3 methods, is it? So you do have initial, Peter did, and close, is it? But take a look in your main. In your main,
Right.
you only call initial, is it?
Mm-hmm.
That's not, that shouldn't
That was my
happen.
question.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen. And also in your main, you don't have any local variable, is it? So then it won't do anything. The mailbox should be in main, not in, so on your initialize, you declare a Boolean mailbox equals to new. You need to move those 2 lines to main. Oh. You need to copy those 2 lines to main. Okay. And then you remember in class I said, because over here, the purpose of this lab is try to, try to learn how to pass. Yeah. And then, yeah, pass. Great. And continue. And better name it different name. Try to name it as parameter mailbox something. You can add a P. You can call PRAR box. So that you know this is a parameter name. So in your main, you call it mailboxes. Is it here for initialize? For that initialize? Hold on. Go to your initialize function, the method. Parameter, you call it mailbox. Change the mailbox to another name. Call it PARAM boxes. And then boxes. Yeah. So this PAR represent a parameter, is it? And you can name parameter same name as your variable, but
so I'll have to change every instance.
No, hold on. The mailbox in main, you don't change the name. You keep the name. Okay, that's a variable. That's called variable in main. It belongs to main.
But when I pass it, I can rename it.
And the param boxes, that's called parameter. So that's always go with the method. And you can name it whatever. And then in your main, you call initial, is it? And you need to plug in. Right now, your initial, you see, you have the red curly line. That means something wrong. When you call it, you need to plug in with local variable, with whatever variable in your main. Yeah. So you need to plug in with mailbox.
So when I pass this and I reference it here, then it reassigns it to this name for this function. Right?
Yeah. And then you get rid of Peter did.
And then that'll go up here, right?
Yeah. Kind of get it now?
Yes.
And still for pass in what? Mailboxes. Yeah. Very good. See?
So when this one runs, it'll change mailboxes in the main as well.
Yeah. Let me explain. Just think about mailbox in your main. You didn't assign it to true or false, is it? So in main, you just create the box, but you didn't assign it to open or close. After what? After you call that initialize, is it? Then the mailbox will be changed to what?
False, closed.
Yes. yes. Very good.
I think they default to closed already. I think they default
Yeah.
to false, but I figured I'd
Yeah.
go ahead and throw that in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
then when I do this one for closed, I would just reference what I want to name, or I guess I skipped
and
one.
I recommend you change all of them to the parameter boxes. So the
Okay.
say
So
all
can
of
you
the
explain?
method. Yeah,
So
because
you said,
in this.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, for your second function, Peter did. We don't need to worry about what your implementation is. Okay, so whatever Peter did, same thing. The parameter should, yeah, you give it a different name from your mailboxes. Yeah, better add that M. Yeah, so that make it consistent.
So can you
And
explain the
then,
difference between,
pardon me?
You said this is an argument and this is a parameter?
Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between those real quick? Sorry.
Okay, argument is some variable basically you defined in main, in this case. Mailbox you define in main. It's a local variable in main. And then you plug in that variable to a method. Is it? So we call it an argument regarding that method.
Okay.
Okay, that parameter boxes. That one is always with initialize method, is it? So that parameter boxes is called the parameter of initialize method. That makes sense?
And Peter did, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
And no, for Peter did, you can name it different. You can name it parameter boxes 2 also. You can give it any name. And
but it shouldn't be an issue if it's the same name, right? Because it's
you
just
can
local.
name it different, but when you plug in, when you call Peter did method, you plug in with what? You still plug in with the same mailboxes.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yep.
So let me think, how about you can think it like this way. So initialize is kind of like so suppose you call initialize a manufacturer. Okay, manufacturer. So whatever manufacturer did so whatever it takes some very generic design. If you don't do anything on some product, it just keep doing on some generic. Is it? And what does main mean? Main means like the real world. Is it? The real, all we can think about, suppose for US, is it? And the mailbox is kind of like you, me, and all of our classmate customers. And then all of the customers can go ahead, put order to the factory, is it, to the manufacturer. Right. And yeah, so each of us can put a different order. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can have a bunch of mailboxes. So Will's mailboxes, Lou's mailboxes, Alex's mailboxes, Xiaopu's mailboxes, Chaya's mailboxes, is it? So, so you can have a bunch, and each of us, but we all need to call that manufacturer, is it?
Right.
That kind of concept. Okay. So Peter did. Then let's see the closed. Yeah, closed.
All I have for closed right now is just printing it. That way I can figure out my logic errors because I still have logic errors.
Okay.
But,
okay. Yeah.
But
so the general flow right now is good. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. If somebody else needs some help, I'll stop sharing, and then if we still have time, I'll probably ask you another question about the logic error that I'm having.
Good.
Thank you for your help.
Yeah. Who is next? You can just go and share your screen. I think the share screen is already completed by my settings. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question just on the problems. When it says problem 1 assignment, and then assignment, is it like two separate files that we have to turn
Yeah,
in?
it's two separate. You can combine them together. You can put the first part as the first part of your program, and the mailbox one, it's just in main, is it? Because for problem one, you can put it at the beginning of your program, and then in your main you start with of the mailboxes, like what Will just showed his code.
Okay, so if I started with the first part, does that mean I would just comment it out?
Something like this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can do some, like email you call this CAC. Yeah, exactly. Then the second part you can do off those mailboxes. Yeah, this works.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. This works.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember how many file I ask you to submit. But you can combine them together. Definitely no problem. Yeah.
Okay, definitely. And then also I had a question about, I'm just having a little trouble kind of getting the basic, like the base of the assignment, like of where I should like really just how I should go about it really. Like, is there a way, like, I don't know, like the PowerPoints or in the book that'll kind of like guide me through a little bit so maybe I could like model something after it?
You mean model? And this similar problem, the mailbox similar, I don't think we have some example to follow like that. But did you remember Will's work?
Yes.
And Will, would you mind to share your screen? So Charlton, is it Charlton? So can you let Will to share his work so that you get some idea about the program flow?
Yes, that's fine. Because that's really what I'm just having trouble with, kind of like knowing where to go. Kind of.
Okay. So Will, can you share yours again?
Yeah, sorry, I just got back from the bathroom. Can you catch me up on what you guys just said? You want me to share it and just
Yeah,
go through
because
the flow?
Charlton said he wants to know how to get everything start.
Yeah, and that maybe as we work through it, we can find my logic error.
Yeah. And so can you also do that alter scroll up?
Yes. Is that good, or do you want more?
That's very good. Okay.
Cool.
So Charlton, so what you see is it in main, is it? Because this is mailbox, and the purpose of this lab is to try to get you guys familiar with how to pass array as a parameter to method, because that's in the future, if you want to work in this field, that's all of your work. You need to get very clear about this kind of concept. Okay. So in the future, we will also, it's not just array, it's some other very complicated data structures, okay, or objects. So we need to get to this concept very straightforward. So how to pass argument back and forth with method calling, is it? How to write a method and then call the method with some parameter, is it, with arguments. So that's the purpose of this lab. So because of this, in this lab, it's still quite straight, simple. We only need one array, like his program, just that mailboxes, is it? So that mailboxes array, you need to have it created in your main. Is it? Just like I just explained, is it? This is Will's boxes. And I can also in Will's program add my mailboxes. And Alex can also have the boxes here. So we can have a number or set of mailboxes, is it? And, but in this case, let's just put it simple. Suppose this manufacturer, the business, at this point only takes Will's order, is it? So Will has the mailboxes, and the initialize is like that manufacturer, is it? It's do some generic work, is it? So here it's just to try to initialize of your mail, your order, is it? So over here, what it's going to do is you just write this initialize method, let it do some work on the parameter box. Parameter box is parameter. Okay, it's a parameter. It's some very generic ones. The manufacturer just say, okay, I have the ability to do this. But right now, if I don't have any customer order, I will not do. So if no customer orders, basically, the manufacturer just sit idle there, doesn't do anything. But you see, in Will's program, will call initialize. That means will place the order. Place the order with his mailboxes. So when it call the initialize method, the mailboxes will substitute all of the parameter boxes. So the manufacturer will work on mailboxes. That parameter box, it's just on paper. Those not a real thing. You just think like that. Okay. So the mailboxes, then it will be processed. Okay, so that's why over here you need to have this initialize method, is it? And then the second step for the message for the manufacturer is doing something Peter doing, is it? Doing some work. Okay, so that's why your mailbox then is going to be processed by the second method called Peter did. And then the last step is the mailboxes, the manufacturer going to wrap them up, mail of them back to you, is it? So that's why the third function is closed, is it? And you still pass in the mailboxes. That makes sense? So you need to have this three method, and then in your main, you just call the method.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty
that's
much
the
I need
general flow. So over here, then you see, we keep passing the mailboxes. The mailboxes.
You guys see both of these?
Yeah, the mailboxes to the function. Yeah, and Alex said his program works. So yeah, Alex. Let's let Alex share his code. And Alex, you can also explain your code if you don't mind.
Okay. So yeah, so these are like three functions I have, right? Like first is like initialize the array, and I already did like open box. It's my array, and here's the first function. So initialize an array here is like 150 elements, and those are booleans, so true or false. Then, as the task suggested us to do, we need to make all them closed. So I said like it's open box, false, so it means it's closed. So all of them after this line are closed because it's false. Then I return the array, and it goes here, which is my main, and this is my array in the main. So right now this is like this array, and this is the same. So I have like an array which called open box, and all the doors are closed right now. Then I call this function open boxes, and I give this array as an argument, which is here, boolean r, and this is basically all the logic. So I used 2 for loops, and
this looks very concise. Yeah.
Yeah, so it says next second function that will conduct what Peter did as described above. So we were said that beginning with mailbox 2, he opened the doors of all even numbers. So what I did here, I started the like for loop from n equals to 2, and I went basically through all n's, but that doesn't matter right now. So next loop matters. So I did I equals to n minus 1. Why I minus 1? Because array starts from 0, not from 1. So like it will start from 1, which is actually 2. If it makes sense, like, you know, in programming, all array starts from 0. Next, I do e plus equal n till 50. Till 50 is because like the number of boxes is 50 in 150. And then I do plus equal n, which is every 2, which is what we needed because we said like all even numbered mailboxes. So every 2. And this is basically changes from true to false or backwards. So it changes like from closed to open, which was set here. If it were closed, he's opening. If it was closed, he's open. Yeah, and then after this happened for the first row, like it happened for 2, loop finished here. Then we go again here, and it's n++, so n will be equal to 3. Then we go again to this loop, and e starts from 2, which is third mailbox, and it will go every 3 mailboxes, as it was said here. Next, beginning with mailbox, he went to every 3rd mailbox. So like we have n equals to 3, and we go e plus equal 3 every time, and we simply change booleans. So yeah, and it goes again when n equals to 4 till n equals to 150. So this is basically the logic. You can copy it if you didn't figure out it yet.
Quick question.
What?
So when in your initialize arrays, you return array. I don't have any return.
No, Will, your way also works. Alex is just doing
doesn't matter.
A different way. Yeah. So you, because Will, your initialize method has array as parameter. Okay, that makes sense. You have and you create the array in main. And what Alex did is he create in the
function
method, and he let this let this array return. So both way works.
Yeah, so I return here an array, and then I basically equals to the array in the main. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So the way I have it set up, I should not have to.
No, you don't need to change, Will.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is basically the logic on the 2 for loops.
That logic threw me for a loop for a while because I couldn't figure out the offset thing because when the array is at 0, the mailbox is at 1, which kind of spices things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
be careful, because index start at 0.
So yeah, this ends up like this is basically the main program. Like this method is the main method because other is just printing out. And then we go to this third method, which basically prints out the doors which are closed. So like for int our array, I transferred the array, which is here, like our open box, to this method, and it goes here. Right now it's R, and we go till the end of R, and if I is like false, which means it's closed, we do the door I plus 1 is closed. I plus 1 because doors can be 0. So, and Yeah, this is basically the output.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, which is the same output
Yeah,
as we have.
and
You
the
can see
code is
that.
very concise. But you don't need to worry if your code is concise or not. Okay, first let's make all the code work. Yeah.
Also, I have a question too.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need to submit like those files, Java. That's it.
Submit and the running result.
Oh, and end of the running result.
Yeah. So like your output part. You can also get
maybe
like
it's
this
better
screen
to submit a
screenshot.
Word document. Just put the code in and just put a screenshot.
Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah. So whatever way you feel.
It doesn't matter
more
because it
efficient.
says like Java
matter.
files.
Yeah, but I just need your running result.
So like Word works too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever
What
you
she said
feel,
originally is
it's
she
work.
wants
And also
the
when
Java file as well as
one more
the
thing,
screenshot of the output.
before you all submit your code, I'm not sure if you all have read the coding standard. The coding standard that maybe we didn't mention in class. So then how about let me find that on our course website. And I need to stop recording.